Why does no one know how to recycle? Well, the planet's fucked anyway. That's something to be in your early 20s, Lucy, and be that bitter. Planet's fucked anyway.
A lot of them feel that way. That doesn't matter anyway,
I
because
guess
older
so,
people are
'cause
just fucking it up.
One of the ideas is they say that younger people are not having children because they're worried about the state of climate change. And
That is the main reason why I'm not having children now. Why I would, if I ever, I would maybe adopt. I think I'm done, but or not even start.
Mine is that they're icky.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I know a lot of friends that only have one kid because they say because of climate change, I don't want to add more people to the planet.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had friends say that, and not like in a grandstanding. Oh, look at me! It's not like something they advertise. These are good friends where they said we don't really say this a lot. So
I say have as many kids as you like. That's your business.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that other people are reacting to climate change in a different way.
I also think the hardest thing for me, I know when I'm either hanging out with my niece and nephews, is the quality of when you have to hold their hand, it's always grimy or sticky.
Oh, yeah, so sweet little hands.
It really, I guess as a parent, you get used to it.
Oh,
I never get used to holding, like when we're crossing the street, my niece and now my nephew's hands. My older nephew wasn't ever as bad, but my niece's hands, she could wash her hands and she would hold your hand next time and it would be sticky or something. Like it would in 30 seconds. And my youngest nephew is like that too. And it's
so
like
cute.
It's so clammy. And the state of children's hands is not something. It's something I feel for you parents.
You better stop talking. You're gonna make my milk come in. I'm getting ready.
No, this is BDSM, BDSY, season 4, episode
Low
11.
deck sailing yacht. Yeah.
Burnt hands and broken hearts.
This is reality, gays.
And I'm Poodle.
And I'm Maddie.
We need to. I'm glad we're doing that more. I fully admit I had a hang up about it.
It's fine. I have an idea about it, and then I forgot to tell you, so remind me.
What do you mean?
I just have an idea that maybe make you a way of maybe thinking about it that'll make you feel more comfortable.
Well, just tell me on the air.
No, I want to tell you off the air.
Anyway, I won't remember, but that's fine. So, the last episode, we're releasing these on the same day because it was a double episode release, a 2-bagger.
Boom, boom.
And so what I realized kind of going through here is we gave a lot away a lot of the plot of this episode in a previous episode. So forgive us for that.
We said at the beginning, watch them both.
Yeah, there will be. I don't think we'll really repeat ourselves here, but we'll say, oh, yep, that was in this episode, not the one.
Some of the things I actually feel like I'm not going to be talking about a lot of the same things as last episode because we talked about last with the kind of actions of what happened with this love triangle, and to me, then this episode is the aftermath and kind of how people reacted to that. So those are a lot of my notes for this.
Yeah. And I think we can kind of talk about Gazy in more detail and Gazy-gate. Yeah, feels like Maresy Dotes and Dozy Dotes to me. It just
Maresy Dotes and Dotes and Dotes and
Maresy Dotes and Dozy Dotes and little Lamsy Divey. Go Kiddly Divey too, wouldn't you? That was how Daisy would say it.
That's how she would say it. Yes, it is.
Maresy Dotes in the saloon. Awkward.
So they are okay, real quick. RG Plus is now on Apple Podcasts. It's also at the $8 tier just for Apple Podcasts. That's it.
You get us with one click.
One click. If you want to listen to this,
one dick.
One dick. You get me with one dick too. You keep me with 2 dicks. You get me with the
Oh,
one.
wow.
But for those of you that want to listen to the show commercial free, that you can subscribe on Apple Podcast or Apple Podcast, their premiums RG Plus. For the Patreon and Supercasters, we want to remind you that Supercast and Patreon are equal forces of the debauchery called Reality Gaze Plus.
You get everything is on both things. Even the you can vote for the Patreon poll. I link a Patreon poll.
Yep, you get Patreon polls. You get all the video tier. So yeah, you get all of that. I think that's it.
I was gonna say also, if you haven't heard, I posted about it in our Facebook group, the Sissy Squad, and I think we dropped the trailer, but the Below Deck Down Under trailer for season 2 is out, and it's amazing. And Aisha's back with Captain Jason. And it looks like she's not taking any shit this season. It's going to be fun to see. And that is premiering July 17th. And that's why we think we're burning these off pretty quickly. I shouldn't say burning off. This is
because it's good.
It's a riveting season for BDSM.
Unlike the boat, this isn't just all smoke. There's fire.
Parsifal 3 is a drag queen that needs a stage.
Oh, yes.
Besides that, she's a jalopy. She's a lemon. I think we've already decided.
Well, I don't know if she's a lemon, but she's been going for a long time, I think.
She needs to be put out to pasture. She's just like, I got something to say about it. My fire alarm's going to go off. Oh, okay. She's upset that the all the department heads are stealing her thunder. She's been the drama all season long, and now she's like, "Oh, my fire alarm's gonna go off. Oops, did I do that?"
Just kidding. Ain't nothing there. Yeah, they got to get a new boat.
And my plumbing's bad too, y'all. Oh,
in the words of Jaws, I think we're gonna need a bigger boat, a better boat in this case.
I don't think Jaws ever said that because Jaws never spoke.
Really?
That was the scientist. Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
In the words of the movie, you know what? Even I'm being picky there, but I got what you're saying. But I thought immediately of how
of him being like Jabberjaws on the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Jabberjaw, Jabberjaw, I want to get you, Jabberjaw. Oh, let's see those legs.
Well, if you need to know, Jabberjaw was a faggot.
They call him Jabberjaw. Yeah,
there's with a trick jaw, right?
Jabberjaw was gay. I don't know if the dune buggy was gay. I don't think that was gay.
I don't know. It was giving me chaotic bottom energy.
You know, maybe he was like pan or bi.
Yeah, at least. Least. Everyone needs a ride.
Droopy dog?
Droopy, I think Droopy was positively asexual.
Just
I
high.
Think Droopy was just reading everybody. And I'm attracted to the person. I didn't have a type. Whatever my way.
Wow.
I reject your binaries. Someone told me that sometimes they hear my Droopy or for Lacey that it also kind of sounds like Maya Angelou. And I can't get it out of my mind. I am the voice of America. and now I only hear Maya Angelou. It's like a Droopy Maya Angelou hybrid.
Wow.
I know it's horror. Someone DM'd me that a while back, and it's been in my head. And I don't know if I've tried to make it more like Maya Angelou, but they said that whenever I hear Lacey from La Loupe, as I do her as Droopy dog, because of her, she never opens her lip when she talks. But yeah.
Well,
We need to
that
move
y'all
on.
in
I'm
10
in a weird
minutes
area.
in 10 minutes, that's our course. Poodle, what's your first fucking tea bag?
um, I I just want to talk about this Colin's first response to Gazy Gate and finding out they
Uh,
fucked is he says, "That's my boy, Gary." And that so he's so upset that Gary would have kept that from him. And then he says, "You're liars." And that's when you go, because they kept saying, both of them. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Remember the reunion that they've had, all of the little things that Gary will just sit there and smile when they're like, "No, we've never slept together." And Gary was like, kind of like acting, he's the worst liar ever. But Daisy could get it out. She could do it. But Gary, and so Colin is basically having one of those moments that's saying, these two friends who I had, this whole relationship that I thought I had with them is kind of a lie.
kind of
Because
incestuous
yeah,
too.
because y'all, Colin loves a big pronouncement and loves to talk about things. He's very wise seaman in that way. Seaman.
I don't like it when you say that word.
Seaman.
Yeah.
Seaman.
Seaman.
Seaman. Seaman.
We need to move on. Um,
But I just think it's interesting that he's very upset to the point where he's like, "Get out of here," to Daisy. "Get out of here." That's what he keeps saying.
it's
It's like, "Colin, come here. I need to talk to you." Colin.
that was terrible.
I know. I told you I can't do her thing. I can only do like 3 words. I can do awkward and salern.
I I don't I brought it up a little bit. I want to talk more in depth about it, but I think this is less about what people did. This is usually the way it happens when you get upset with yes, sometimes it's about what people did, but a lot of times it's about how they handled what their reactions to how it affected you. And this is like a domino of hurt. One person gets hurt, and instead of them just having a conversation, it's the worst combination because Colin, at least a little and you can correct me if you feel this is off. Colin he wants to take confrontation head on when something he wants to handle
Yeah.
it and to dispel it and be done with.
Kind of
Daisy
like a
wants
scientist. He's wanting
yes,
to, yeah.
and Daisy wants to avoid it at all costs, not even talk about it.
Right.
And then Gary wants to take what we talk about, avoid it mostly, except for the parts that I can use to make myself feel better and put people in weird
Yeah.
positions.
Yeah. The kind of the most unhealthy version
But how do I
of
weaponize this? Yes. So it's the worst like Cassie couldn't have gotten a more fucked up
and
trio.
I would argue that Colin's approach wants to take it head on, but to almost solve it like a math problem, like an engineer would,
unemotional,
and
yeah.
actually unemotionally. So
Good
that's
point.
not going to be satisfying either.
No, good point.
But you're right. They all form this really uneasy pyramid of dysfunction.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier too, but I thought about in the first episode, but in a different way. But I feel bad for Colin in that all of them really, in a way. But I think what Colin has hurt from is not only did they not tell him, but earlier I said, they're the ones that used to complain. Gary would complain to Colin, Daisy to Colin. But think about like they both had such heart to hearts with Colin
Oh yeah.
about the other person and people they're dating. So he felt like not only did he felt like he really knew 2 people, and now he probably is
And
going, "Who do I know?"
that's the big
Is this a
fuck you in
fake
all
show?
this.
Is this a fake show where
Yeah.
we're just on TV? Because I
That's
would
why
think
he
that.
is just zonked.
Yeah.
And he can't really talk to Daisy about it but he really is. I think he's more mad in a weird way. I think he's more mad at Gary
Oh,
because
for sure.
that friendship for him is something he thought he knew. He thought he knew that Gary was just going to break bro code. He thought he knew that, but at the end of the day, Gary was someone as a friend, a ride or die who would do anything for him. And for Colin, something like this means everything has changed. And it's I don't know if we've watched, especially in Below Deck, things get deep, but never really, really like you're at the very edge of something where people have been I think I was gonna say if related to regular OG Kate Chess. You know what? This is very akin to Sandy firing Hannah, that because
Mm,
they'd been together for so long.
mm.
This was this was is that kind of event that's happening because this is shaking the department heads. And I guarantee you this is going to have repercussions the rest of the season. Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, that was my first kind of teabag to talk about.
I again, I why can't why can't Gary just like the at first I went, okay, Gary didn't apologize. But then when Gary has that conversation with Daisy, well, first of all, when he and Colin talk, and actually let's talk about that first. The Colin and Gary conversation. When Colin actually kind of came up to him and said, this is a dick mood. And he said, I'm starting to get feelings. Like just the way it was brought up. So Colin even said, like, I'm just disappointed. And Gary says, and Gary's like, basically, I was backing her up. What was I supposed to do? And
Yeah.
the inability
He
for him to even take any
any responsibility.
responsibility.
Yep.
Yeah.
and
It's
and says
maddening.
I made a promise. I'm still your friend
I
because
didn't do
y'all
anything wrong.
Gary cannot tolerate the discomfort of someone not liking him. He
Yeah.
cannot sit in that for a minute
So
or not
he's
even a
gonna
minute,
put
10
this,
seconds.
he's gonna put this, and he is, it's gonna be all on Daisy.
I know. You're right. Yeah.
When he could have said, no, Daisy, sorry, I have to be honest with my friend.
Right. Yeah. Yep, I agree.
And
100%.
anyway.
So, you know what? Before we move on, we should probably take a
Oh,
quick
okay.
break before we go into more of this.
Hey, hey, mods. Hey, mods. This is Gary, bro. This
Yeah,
is Gary, bro. This is my
why do you want Gary?
hey, mods. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that Daisy and I, your boss, Daisy.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah,
Get your hand off me.
I just want to let you know that we hooked up. We fucked a little bit.
Okay.
Don't be upset. Don't start crying. Like,
I'm
don't be
not.
upset.
I'm actually kind of happy
What?
because we're nothing. Like,
Huh?
if you want to like bang up inside me as much as you want to, we're fine. But like, this clarifies everything. We're like nothing. I see it as good. This is really a good thing. We don't have a
Bro,
future.
bro.
I'm not playing your stupid fucking game. We're still gonna fuck tonight, right?
She leveled him.
I know.
When she
But
said
not in her I did a lot more meaner than she did.
you
But
did meaner than she did. Yeah, she's not mean about it. That's what's
no!
even more brutal is that you can tell she really doesn't care. She's not emotionally in any of it. And she even says, all I can see is that he clearly just wants the attention from me. And I'm not playing, like you said, I'm not playing those fucking games.
God, I really like her.
I love her.
She definitely is, even though she's young, she's heads above some of the kind of the stews that we've had with just wanting to either fuck the Deckies or fuck Gary or fuck around and she's just so much kind of like she has held so much perspective on what she's there to do
Yeah.
and about how this is a summer and it's not going to be the rest of her life. She's there to get hers, and she's not here to find a boyfriend or a husband. I love it. It's so refreshing. This is what you should be doing in your 20s.
It's what you did.
Yeah, I did. With a lot of other people's husbands. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Um, unfortunately. Okay, y'all, we're back from the break. I want to
I
talk
want
about
to
what's your
say that if it was a real blessing with all this tumultuous shit that's going on with Gazy and Colin. I'm not gonna say Galen, because that's
Galen.
bad. Gazy, let's say Gazy Gate. With all of that, that these guests are lovely people,
They
and
are.
they seem to be enjoying themselves. And I was a little worried that when they asked for a Caribbean feast and they have Caribbean roots, that they were going to want something that was like authentic and but they're like, no, we love Eilish's food. She's trying, and the one woman said, this Johnny Cakes reminds me of my grandmother, and she used to make them, and she gets, and y'all, for like a chef, and
She
it's like a
cried.
wonderful thing. I teared up a little bit.
I know you were thinking of your grandmother poodle.
Grandmother Poodle would probably tell me that I used too much flour in the biscuits. Made it tough.
Y'all, Mother Poodle comes by it honestly.
Yeah, boy, grandma. I loved Grandmother Poodle. She passed, but boy, you didn't fuck with her.
But she passed with that. How old did she live to?
She died. She died relatively young. Well, I say young. She died when she was like 78, 79. She didn't make it to
Mm,
80. She in fairness, she had diabetes and asthma.
mm.
So big
But
risk
she had the
factors.
will to live.
Yeah, she was a tough bitch. Left her stinko of a husband in the middle of the night with 5 kids and never looked
Uh,
back.
never look back.
Yep. Yep, she was just a tough tough bitch.
Anyway,
Yeah, she'd say things occasionally, and people just let it go, and you're like, well, that's awful. It's how I learned to watch soap operas,
were
and
you her
when I would
favorite
spend the night with
grandchild?
her. I I don't know if I was the favorite. We my brother and I she kept us a lot. So, um she would say she loved all she really liked me though. I knew that.
So humble.
She did. She
Oh,
did.
she did. Okay, so I thought it was sweet when she cried at the thing. Let's talk about. We kind of already talked about this in the episode, but um, what what do you think of this? I'm confused. I thought the whole phrase is where there's smoke, there's fire. So how can you not have? How can they have smoke on the boat? I'm talking to you like you know about boat
I I
engineering,
I
and I
I
realize you don't.
I don't know. I don't know any. I guess there was a little bit of smoke, but you can have smoke without fire. I think where they're saying, I think that's an expression that is using the metaphor of smoke and fire to. I'm even boring
What?
myself here. Um,
You are deeply
I
detailing,
think things
explaining.
can smoke without fire, like kindling. Kindling can smoke. This is so boring. No one gives a fuck about any of this. Why are you asking? I'm not gonna know about how the ship fucking works. I don't have an engineering degree.
You
Just
haven't
like
even
four,
picked an engineer.
just 4 useless music degrees. God, I have the degrees. don't even know where they are. I don't even know where those diplomas are. They're just sitting somewhere in a box.
In a box.
4 degrees. This is the thing, y'all. Book smarts will get you some places in this world, and a lot of places it won't. I can tell you that now. And here I am sitting here in basketball shorts on a microphone.
Wow.
You know what? I think we're definitely making more money here than I was as a professor. I think, especially an associate professor.
Probably.
Yeah.
You'd have to fuck your way to the president.
Yeah.
And they throw you out of academia before that because
that's true.
Yeah, they would catch up to
Yeah.
you. Can't be slutty in academia, y'all. You can't.
No, you can't.
You got it. You can't sleep with your coworkers very much.
Not
in
after
academia.
Me Too.
No,
nope.
Yeah. Now let's keep it all profesh in that one.
Nope. And then if you can't fuck your coworkers, how fun is that?
Well, yeah. What do you do at the office party? What's your next tea bag?
Where is it? I already said that one. I wanted to talk about Colin calling his sister and Monica. No. Will you ever? I love it that it's such an obscure opera reference that either people know it or they don't, and it's like that is you hear that name and immediately you sing Monica's Waltz from the Menotti opera The Medium.
Yeah.
Which is not a wide for a layman who kind of knows opera. It's something they would have never seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 1-act opera, I believe. I don't know. Maybe it's 2 acts. Some opera queens are like, how could he get this wrong? You could sing Black Swan from it, that really creepy duet. Do you know Black Swan?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Chilly.
It's good opera.
Spools unravel and the spoons is thread.
All right.
Sun sings a song for the dying day. Oh, black swan, oh, black rain, take me down with you.
Does a man sing it or a woman?
It's a woman. I should be singing it in my office.
Oh, excited.
Oh, black wind.
We need to move on. We're out to sea.
Where is my lover gone?
We're out to sea now.
We are.
Okay. We talked about this first of this show, but when Gary goes up to Mads and he's like, so what's happening with us? And she looks him dead in the face and says, nothing is happening with us. And then in her talking head, she's like, oh my God, he's so dramatic. Why does he have to be such a clinger? Blah.
I believe that I'm going to get on my soapbox just a little bit. I think the people in the younger generation, like Alex and Mads, use the word dramatic a lot. And I think that is a word that people use that is when someone is having feelings.
I agree with that.
They call that being dramatic. And I'm going to say, I would encourage you to maybe think: is someone being dramatic, or are they having feelings?
Yes, I think there's a line.
Yeah.
When your podcast partner is
no, I'm dramatic. I'm dramatic. It's
throwing,
not feelings.
Throwing things across the room.
When
it looks like Cruella DeVille at the end of that movie when she goes crazy and her eyes are just kind of spinning.
Like, if someone uses the phrase consistently like I do, how dare you? That's dramatic.
That's dramatic.
You can say that to someone, or I have never seen this in all my life. That's dramatic. I will fully admit to that. I've been that way for a long time.
But
Um,
I think it's good to make that distinction because words matter, and they do. They kind of say, "Oh, they're so dramatic," when someone just is having an emotional moment.
which is emotions are okay, but I think in the
Now
younger
he is a clinger. He is clingy
yeah,
on her.
definitely. But I'm saying even Alex says it when
Yeah.
someone will be like, "Oh, they're so dramatic." You're so, or will say something when someone is just like either having an emotion or they'll make a joke or like, "Oh, my day's been crappy." "Oh, you're so dramatic." Because y'all, it's not cool to have feelings, and it's like the more sarcastic we can be, and the more sardonic, the cooler we are.
It's Cool Kids Club, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Agreed.
it's we talk about it when we were talking about Kalani and Kalini all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What's your next one?
Anyway, this tablescape that Mads
It
created
was
with the
beautiful.
fruit, gorgeous,
It was
gorgeous.
beautiful.
And y'all, Mads is like, Daisy's kind of out on a ledge somewhere. So
So I'm gonna
I
step up.
I guess I'm gonna have to step up and handle the plates and all this. She's like, I'm gonna do this before Daisy asks me, basically. And Daisy's like, I need you to do this and this and this. Can you also do this and do the turn downs, please? And so all these things, and Matt's like, yep, got it, got it. And Daisy's basically pulling her hair out by the roots with this personal problem that she has created. And it's just it's and even in the very end, it looks like we're going to talk about cake gate,
Oh,
or
no.
the cake catastrophe that happens here.
To Chase's
um
credit, Chase did say they might want cake.
and so did Alicia. And I need to say,
What
don't
you always have strong opinions about cake, so go ahead.
I am the resident cake expert on this show. I think you would
You are.
cede that to me.
I would yes.
I feel very strongly about it.
Yeah.
Um, I have very strong opinions and feelings. I am dramatic about cake, if you will.
Well done.
But here's the thing: don't put cake up. You don't need it unless it's going to. I understand the idea of that. There is no reason a full-grown adult man would not go back for a second piece of cake. And I think Daisy said no one ever wants a second piece of cake. You've never been around me. I always want a second piece of cake, unless especially if it's good. Now, if you give me a Ralph's sheet cake, no, I'm going to eat one piece and like probably cough it down just to be polite. But if you give me a cake from a bakery, and if you give me like a somewhat little slice, what I'll do is I will cut a smaller slice and then I'll probably go back and get another smaller slice. So I will have eaten the equivalent of 2 pieces. Okay? Don't put a cake up. It's not your business. A cake is a celebratory occasion, and it's okay if it sits there a little longer.
This isn't didn't bring up anything for you at all.
When I
See.
saw that they put it up and I saw her saying, "No one will ever eat it." And I went, "How dare you?" Am I being dramatic? Maybe. All I know is cake is a joy in this world. If someone is on a yacht, it is more than acceptable to eat a second piece of cake. More than acceptable. You are having the time of your life. Those are my thoughts. Now, I don't know what's going to happen when they try to put the cake back together.
It's a
And
Humpty Dumpty shit.
yeah,
Can't do.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
And I think this was because Daisy was distracted.
Well, she already missed it. There was a birthday party
Yep.
that
And
night
and she's
and forgot
talking to
about it.
while this is all happening, she's just talking to Colin again, trying to repair this
Trying to
rift.
repair, and by now, y'all, everybody in the crew knows because everybody's told
Yeah.
everybody.
Except for the
'Cause
chef, I believe, who probably has figured
yeah,
it out.
Mads though ends up telling other people.
Yeah.
Gary tells Alex.
Hey,
Um,
Alex. Hey,
hey,
Mads.
what's the
Did you hear
story?
they fucked? I like
He-
how everyone's like, I just assumed they had.
yeah. Hey, Lucy. What? What? I passed beauty.
I,
What?
again, I'm not sure if she didn't know how the numbers worked
It,
or if they were unclear on the scoring system.
I don't know. Maybe I guess it wasn't as high as she wanted.
Yeah, and the father's like, "Yay, you passed! I'm gonna go just a pop and drink for you. I'm so happy for you. We never had a graduate in the."
He was flipping out.
I can't do a Welsh accent.
No, he was flipping out. Um,
He's like, "That's great. It's fucking great."
what do you think of my last teabag that I have is what do you think of Gary saying when he's talking to Chase and bemoaning to Chase about Colin and is like then Gary says if you think I'm a bad friend, you're a childless idiot. Fuck him. Fuck him. And the way Gary said that,
Yeah.
it was
No, it's.
so angry.
I think. I think. I think he's gonna have a lot to answer for.
And I don't think he will.
This season. I think he will apologize at the reunion because I think he'll probably get emotional about it. Um, I think because now that it's over, he's not right in it. He can't apologize now because he's
Yeah.
too stubborn,
He's too stubborn.
and he because he really thinks in a very kid way. Well, the rules were that Daisy asked me to promise not to tell anyone, and I didn't tell anyone. And since these are kid games, Colin's being a boo boo head because I shouldn't have to apologize. I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
So again, though, that is the limits of his intelligence. I'm not
That's
making
true.
excuses for him. I'm saying that's the way things are for him.
Not gonna get much farther.
That's about no one has ever asked Gary to do one adult emotional thing in his life.
And especially and to have self-reflection.
Nope. He is good at what he does. He's not a great manager, but the guests seem to have a good time with him, and has a great relationship with Captain Glenn, and his skill set is other places. As an emotional adult, he is a failure. That's
Yeah.
simply put. And Daisy knows that. You can't have it. Now, the fact that Daisy had sex with him not once, but twice is a failure on her part.
What does that guy say at the end of that Indiana Jones? That was a poor choice.
You chose
poorly.
poorly.
You chose poorly. That's Shady Night and Indiana Jones.
And then the beautiful blonde Nazi dies.
She dies. Yes, she dies. Yeah.
I remember Indiana Jones because if you know someone was a Nazi, they were just a bad person. It was just easy. It was much easier than now. We don't know who the Nazis are.
Yeah, well, we'll see. They're making a new one. We'll see if there's Nazis in it.
It was just so much easier when you knew who the Nazis were.
Yeah, and
now someone might be saying, "Well, I'm kind of a Nazi, and I kind of think some things the Nazis thought were a good idea." Wait, so but you're still a bad person, right? No, I'm not. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, we're not making fun of it.
A nicer
we're
Nazi.
Pointing out how stupid it is. So, I hate them.
It was nicer when they wore swastikas. That's what I'll say.
I gotta say, I try to be real nice and understanding. But if you're a Nazi, I think you need to be taken off this planet.
What
not
a
killed
brave
by someone.
stance.
No, but I mean, like, I normally am like, oh, that bad person, just a politician or someone. I'm not like, just I hope they die. But no, if someone says I'm a Nazi, I'm like, yeah, I don't think you need to be on the earth. I hope something gets you.
Well, yeah, I think that's
hope something gets you.
Pretty fair. It's good. Look, reality gaze, not supporting Nazis.
Taking that stance.
That's a stance.
That's a stance. Quote us on that.
We may lose listeners.
and bye.
Let's hope we don't, because hopefully no one's already listening who's an actual Nazi.
We need to move on. That's all I have.
I can see a pull quote now, from Poodle. I wish it was nicer when they wore swastika.
That's a show, everybody. I don't know what to say anymore.
Please don't twist my words, because you can. I meant that it's nicer that you knew who the Nazis were.
I know.
To avoid them.
Yeah.
And now you can't. I'm basically saying they're everywhere.
All right, everybody. That's the show.
Wow. Get me out of this.
Y'all, that's a show. Go to realitygaze.com. That's where you can find everything
and this has been the last episode of Reality This is the last ever. Episode of
We'll see you next week. If we're back next week,
won't be.
You'll be able to hear us say, but for now, this is the last.
Lovely.
It's been lovely. And this is the last time where we say what, Poodle?
Anchors again for the last time.